The brown-fingered cottage boy was very frustrated with people. He said, I'll say, I hope people die, or I hope you die. And people will think, that's biblical. The brown-fingered, chain-smoking cottage boy said, it's like me saying, go to hell. You're not really going to go to hell. So when I say, I hope you die, are you really going to die? I hope you do, but you're not really going to die.
Hey guys, it's me, Ted Cruisin' for a Bruisin', and you're about to watch an episode of the Cottage Boys here on YouTube. They called my wife a bitch once, but I still like them, 'cause that's how Cottage Boy fans roll. Enjoy!
Once upon a time in a land far, far away, in between two waterways, a block or 2 blocks or 3 blocks or 4 miles from the beach, lived 2 men who were very much in love and never had any public breakups where they accused each other of breaking the law. Never did they go on lives to talk shit about each other. Never did they take each other's phones. Never did they harm one another. They were always in love and true to each other. Despite not having jobs and being well into their 40s, these men enjoyed staying up until all hours of the night and early morning to make lives where they yelled at women and called them sluts and fat and bitches and cunts. The brown-fingered cottage boy had the hardest of time sleeping, so he'd stay up until all hours of the night, smoking cigarettes and drinking Coca-Cola Classic by the tiny swig of his pursed, angry lips. He screamed and yelled till all hours of the morning, fuck you, so-and-so, and fuck her too, and you're fat, Jenny Craig, and all of the above. While the brown-fingered cottage boy enjoyed yelling till all hours of the night, the other cottage boy, the one who yelled from the sidelines, enjoyed getting a little bit of rest on their unsheeted mattress. However, he didn't get much sleep this weekend. He was awoken from his boxer brief-wearing slumber by the brown-fingered cottage boy who rushed in their bedroom and said, wake up, Greg, the police are here. And Greg popped off the mattress with his moose knuckle showing and headed to the front door while the brown-fingered cottage boy yelled, give me a mask, give me a mask. And Greg opened the door as the brown-fingered cottage boy said, shit. The moose-knuckled cottage boy then proceeded to do his charming way of heart-handing the police with words by saying, hello, fellas, how can we help you? The police proceeded to tell the cottage boys that there had been a complaint called to them that there had been threats made on the internet by one of them, to which the cottage boys explained, we are very popular bloggers with a huge following and we are being harassed, sirs. The police, not recognizing that blogger is a real job, looked at them questionably, while one police officer standing in the back chewed his gum aggressively, thinking, why do I have to be in this neighborhood again? It's not close enough to the beach. The cottage boy with the habitual ear infection proudly displayed his studio of blogger greatness, which consisted of a light he said was a Hollywood light, a ring light which cost $99, and a TV tray with his laptop sitting atop of it. This is where I create my magical content, he told the police officers. The police officers humored the teeth-sucking cottage boy. The police officers seemed far more interested in the cats, one of which they thought was still a kitten, and one of which we never saw, but we do sometimes hear it cough, cough, cough. As the brown-fingered cottage boy went off on a rant that nobody seemed to care about, the moose-knuckled cottage boy and the police officer spoke about the kittens lovingly. When the moose-knuckled cottage boy said that one of the cats they thought was a kitten was actually 6 years old, the brown-fingered cottage boy burst into the conversation, interrupting his own rant, and said, he is 8. He is 8 years old, he corrected the moose-knuckled cottage boy, and most likely then gave him the look he often gives him with his side eye every time the moose-knuckled cottage boy says something he doesn't like or which is not in the script that he has him read in a car outside the hospital while he stands outside of the car. The police officers then continued to pay attention to the cats, asking if they could go outside, to which the moose-knuckled cottage boy says, yes, sometimes he can go to the stairs, but don't worry, he won't run away. But the brown-fingered cottage boy ponders out loud what he thinks the police could possibly do to find out who possibly might be calling the police and doing welfare checks and saying that he's threatening people on the internet, which he's not, but he is. The brown-fingered cottage boy is clearly upset as he recalls to the police officer all the times in which the police have been called erroneously or erroneously to his beautiful cottage that he loves. The cottage that has the box span sitting on the floor collecting beautiful, wonderful molecules of dust and germs and cigarette smoke. The cottage that he goes live and says has brand new, beautiful things and people are just jealous of because he lives 1 to 2 to 4 to 6 blocks away from the beach. But then another live says all of this stuff is used or from the Goodwill. The moose-knuckled cottage boy is being showcased as the brown-fingered cottage boy is live on his Instagram for everyone to see that he is in fact not lying and that justice is not being served in his beautiful cottage with the paint chipping from the broken-in door. His hags continue talking about things that nobody cares about in the background of his live while he is live on another platform with the police, finally getting vindication that yes, people are calling the police on him and these are real police. He is yelling about a woman named Amber, despite knowing many women named Amber who he hates. This is an Amber with a last name that starts with a C, who he says lives in Utah and is definitely doing this despite the police not verifying it. The police tell them they can call the station in the morning for more information as the hags yell in the back in their hag-like manner. They can get you the receipts right now. Ask them this, ask them that. The hags sure know a lot about the police. The brown-fingered cottage boy slurs his words as he attempts to be a part-time paralegal picking apart the phone call that the police don't really care about. They just want to get it done and over with and close the smoky cottage door. One of the police officers seems to be exceptionally attracted to the hags who lust after him in the chat as they ponder and imagine and have fantasies about what he will do to them or their bank accounts or their cats in their hotbox homes. Top hag Holly White fantasizes about which Prince song she will play while she chains the hot cop up in her basement and performs 50 Shades of Grey, boomer-type women's sexual behaviors on the police officers while Pussy Control plays in the back and she lights a cigarette, picks her teeth, and takes a swig of red wine. After the police leave, the moose-knuckled cottage boy appears to be unhappy as he might have waved a fist and says, "Go to bed. Go to bed, you stink box, go to bed now." He then takes the 6 steps from the front door to his bedroom, falls on the mattress and tries to get back into his slumber, while the brown-fingered cottage boy heads back on the live stream. The brown-fingered cottage boy relives the harrowing experience as the hags in unison say, "It's not fair what's happening. This is so wrong." The brown-fingered cottage boy wonders, why would someone call in a fake report? Why would someone weaponize the police against me to harass me, saying that I threatened someone on the internet just because a little bit before I threatened someone on the internet named ATV who has a channel that I say is dedicated to me? But like I said earlier about wishing people dead, the things I say are just things that I say. They have no truth. They carry no weight unless I need them to push the narrative of my lies. Do you believe me? Do you not believe me? That is the question. Sure, I've bragged about wanting to beat up this ATV gentleman who just joined me on a live so we could outpour each other. No, you're poor. No, I'm poor. No, we're poor. No, you live on the 3rd floor. No, I don't have more than 1 floor. Ghetto, ghetto, ghetto. Yes, I said I would fight him and want to fight him, but that doesn't mean I'm going to fight him. That is not a threat. I fed this man. I gave him an $8 cash app for a Subway sandwich because I care about the poor, which I'm not. The brown-fingered cottage boy doesn't understand how anyone would think he is impoverished. Have they not seen his last couple of lives? He says, "I work so hard. I put in the work. 11 years, sister, brother, cousin, nephew, wives, all the work, 11 years, and I'm here, sitting on my quaint cottage living room floor in front of the coffee table that has a TV tray on top of it, with my laptop on top of that, with no camera in sight but the built-in camera in the laptop, which looks really shitty, but I have 2 lights. 11 years, and you could be me. You too could sit on the floor in front of an IKEA portrait of a bridge to nowhere from 2007. So when ATV comes on the brown-fingered cottage boy's live from his 3-level home somewhere in California, the brown-fingered cottage boy is pissed. How dare he get clicks and views off of me, he thinks and shouts and screams. So the brown-fingered cottage boy begins fat-shaming ATV in the only way he knows how, telling him to eat another Big Mac and offering him money for Jenny Craig, to which ATV says, "I'll take it if you're willing to give it." However, by this time, the brown-fingered cottage boy has already given ATV $8 for a Subway sandwich. There is nothing left in his bank account, and when he gave him the Cash App, you could tell he had never given her Cash App before. Despite being on a live recently, bragging that he is a giver, how he sits every day with a mouthful of semen after pleasing his cottage fella, he doesn't seem to be giving when it comes to money. Oh sure, he's received tons of Cash Apps, but when he opens the app that they call Cash App, he doesn't know how to search ATV's name. He attempts to get out of the $5 foot-long deal he just made by saying, "I can't find you, ATV. I cannot find it you. Where is it you? You must tell it me." To which ATV says, "Put a $sign in front of my name." The brown-fingered cottage boy puts a $sign in front of ATV's name, but refuses to put respect on it as he continues to call him fat and lazy and tell him he lives in the ghetto. "But no, I can say that," the brown-fingered man says, "because my moose-knuckled lover is half blacker, kind of blacker. Talked to someone who was black once upon a time." And this man, ATV, said it about himself. Not understanding self-deprecation, he keeps going on. His hags encourage the fat-shaming and fighting in the chat and on the live stream as ATV attempts to eviscerate the brown-fingered cottage boy, and then he calls one of the panelists a woman. She, of course, is offended because she has a name. However, ATV says, "I cannot see your name because I have these stupid hag comments on the screen, so I do not know who you are. There are so many of you around here coming and going and coming again and going and suing." ATV says he meant no disrespect. However, it is too late. The white haggis woman has declared that ATV is racist, that calling her a woman is the same as her calling him a boy. Because unfortunately no one in the Cottage Boys saga knows anything about history or racism or prejudice or bigotry or has read a book or taken American history, so they just throw out terms that you can be racist against white women. That referring to a white woman as woman instead of by her name is somehow racist. Most would argue maybe sexist, definitely not racist, but these hags keep going. With the typical mentality of a Karen, they too want to feel the oppression. They too have suffered, and they will let you know it and tell you where you can stand and be and not to wear a mask. It is typical hag-like behavior. Instead of calling their leader, the brown-fingered cottage boy, racist, which he's proven to be video after video, they call a black man racist, who is his adversary for calling a woman a woman. But the brown-fingered cottage boy is enjoying this live stream. He is feeling vindication despite going live an hour before and saying you will never speak of these people again. Here he is at 5 a.m. Eastern time speaking about the people he said he would not speak about because it's the same day. It is not his fault that he must speak of this and speak of witches and speak of ATVs and speak of people from Ireland. They are doing this to him. It is their fault. He has done nothing wrong. He is just successful and works hard. The Pinot Grigio infected cottage boy rants for the 1,000th time how he would rather be talking about the K1 Visa show with his best friend with the new tits. But he can't, because he doesn't get views on that. He only gets views on the drama, which isn't his fault. Throughout the live stream that is entirely too long, you can hear the brown-fingered cottage boy's lover yell, "Get to bed! Shut up! That's enough!" from the mattress in the room they call bed. The brown-fingered cottage boy does nothing but take a sharp swig of his Coca-Cola Classic. As he continues his live stream, people start joining, more hags, more ex-hags, more new hags, more adversaries. One in particular from Ireland shows up. She was getting ready for work, which confused the brown-fingered cottage boy and many of his hags. She said she heard her name and saw that someone sent a super check, but that was not in fact her, because she would never give him a dime because she hates him and finds him annoying and stinky and liey. She calls him an idiot, and the hags go, "How dare you speaketh of our leader in such a way," which the brown-fingered cottage boy calls her a whore and fat and a slut and a bitch. "How dare you, ma'am," the hags say, especially the new, uber-pierced hag, who sits with a green screen of creepy dolls behind her with her eyebrows to the sky, but her eyes focus downward. She gets upset and throughout the live decides to share with everyone it's okay when the brown-fingered cottage boy calls women cunts because she loves the word cunt. Cunt, cunt, cunt. She loves it. This new player in the Cottage Boys saga is interesting and intriguing considering she sent emails to many of the people providing commentary on the Cottage saga and drama throughout the year. She loved it. She encouraged it. Email after email was sent to creators on YouTube how much she loved their commentary, and here's some more. Please commentate on this and look how crazy they are. Ha ha ha. But now she's a hag. It doesn't make sense, but then again, most of the hags turn ex-hags, turn hagged again, turn lawsuits, turn hags, turn ex-hags, turn hags, don't make sense. But maybe it's because she didn't like a moderator on one of the channels. Could it be that the channel she was encouraging provide commentary on the Cottage Boys channel she no longer likes because she got into it with a moderator she thought had it personally out to get her, even though this moderator had no idea who she was and she just showed up for the drama? Could it be because she emailed and commented to the content creator on YouTube about the moderator and her problem with her, and that content creator left her demands and complaints on read? What turned her hag again? Like how many licks it takes to get to the center of a Tootsie Roll Tootsie Pop? We may never know. Could it be that what she was accusing the Irish woman Jay with the YouTube channel of doing, making commentary on the Cottage Boys for clicks and views, is in fact what she's doing? As we see her throughout the live answering questions in the chat as if it were her own channel, saying things like, "Oh, I'll just tell you my channel name so you don't have to keep running it out, Coochie Cream." However, she does fit in beautifully with the Cottage Boys and their hags as she fat shames the Jay Today show and says she's a woman who shouldn't be able to talk because she's so ridiculous. She shares her opinion and encourages silencing women and asks the Irish caller when she has last had dick, to which the brown-fingered cottage boy says it's probably been 30 years, because we all know women who don't have dick inside of them are cuckoo crazy. They'd be the type of woman to be on a live stream calling other women whores and cunts at 5 a.m. instead of cuddling with their dick they so love. The Irish YouTuber who claims to work on a farm, yet the pierced woman with eyebrows to the sky and eyes to the floor asks her if she's there to be milked. Says, "No, I never said I was below the poverty level. I said I can get a free lawyer. In my country, Ireland, a place you've never been or will never go, if you're below a certain socioeconomic status, you can get free legal aid because we're an advanced, progressive country, unlike the United States." But the brown-fingered cottage boy cares not for facts. Ha! Those just get in the way as he continues to poverty shame her. "You're poor, you're the poorest, you're below the poverty level," when he doesn't even know what the poverty level is in Ireland. By this time, the brown-fingered cottage boy is joined by so many hags or hag wannabes that you can't tell who's who because everybody's talking at the same time, and the Irish YouTuber is trying to get ready for work. Nobody has their cameras on except for the brown-fingered cottage boy and the wannabe Elvira. So the Jay Today show gets confused and thinks top hag Holly White is talking to her, when in fact it's a YouTuber called Dear Sing Me a Song at a live and interrupts it when you know nothing what's going on is in fact talking. She thinks it's Holly White, and she hates Holly White. The Irish, possibly British, maybe Portuguese, maybe Finnish YouTuber then tells Holly White to go lotion her hands some more. And what comes next by the cottage boy with the brown finger and the perpetual ear infection and the love for Pinot Grigio and hating on women? You won't even believe. Tune in next week for part 2 of this episode, or just episode 3.